Hi guys, I hope all is well and welcome to the first video of the Trading Places education. First off, I think it's important for we all realise this video is going to be about Tradingview. This is the platform we use to conduct all of our technical analysis, which we use to identify potential entries, stop losses and take profits on all FX and commodity based currencies. The reason we use TradingView to conduct our analysis rather than doing analysis on MT4 is because we find it a lot better and a lot easier to do analysis on a separate platform from where we actually execute our trades. Over the years, we have found by doing analysis off of the MT4 platform, it stops us having that urge or to jump into a trade. So we can conduct our analysis on a completely separate entity than where we actually place and execute our trades. And by doing so, that just gives us a lot less time to think and become more efficient in our analysis, rather than potentially spotting something and then just diving straight into it without actually having taken the correct kind of thought process through it. Like I said, in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how to set up a TradingView account, the differences in pricing, how it all works, how to build layouts, create watch lists, and actually link it to your mobile device. First off, we're going to click Join for free, top right corner here. Once you've clicked Join for free, you will see this sign up screen appear. First off, you need to choose a username. This could either, you can just choose something, whatever you want. I'm going to go for something generic, like trading, so it matches my kind of company, Trading Places. Underscore FX. Next be your email address. I've actually set an email address up, TradingView at Trading Places. Obviously this will be your email address, and then a password which you can remember, which meets for TradingView kind of password guidelines. You click you've read the terms and conditions and you confirm you're not a robot, and you would obviously hit sign up. Then we have to verify the account. So doing that, you'd log into your email account to verify that this is actually you. Once you have verified your account and click the activation link sent in your emails, this is a screen you will see. Here you'll be able to choose a picture and put your first and last name in to make the account more kind of a detailed profile for you, individual profile for you. Once you've done this, you'll see your picture. I put our logo and the names in these fields, and you obviously just click continue. And now we have your kind of dashboard, your profile. So you're probably looking at all this thinking, right, where do we go from here? So first off, you can personalize your profile slightly further by profile settings. You have your username, you have the logo here, signature. You can place a signature if you wish, and this is on the upgradable TradingView, which I'll cover later. The About Me page is quite a good section. You can fill this in to give a bit of a bio about yourself, your trading history, what kind of style you have, what kind of strategy you have. It just gives anyone who looks at your profile a bit more information about you. All of these details can be filled in at a later date. You can have time to think about what you want to write there. Location, so people can see what kind of time frame you're using. You can link this to your Twitter handle and actually to your website. You can also add your phone number. This comes in very handy if you do upgrade to the paid plans, as they can send you text messages on when prices hit certain levels. But I will discuss that further later on in this video. And you can obviously add further information here as well. And if trading doesn't work for you, to delete the account is in this section here. If you're already familiar and you were trading and you definitely want to get all the aspects TradingView has to offer, you can select to Go Pro, and this gives you the difference of what's available by having the free version all the way up to the premium for $60 a month. And this can be seen. It kind of lists all the differences here. Infinity charts on the premium, 10 on the Pro 5, and 1. Custom number of saved charts, that is pretty important. I mean, I have quite multiple chart layouts. One to document all the trades I've had when I'm entering my long short positions, so I can clearly see how that's played out, and it gives me a great opportunity to on our weekly recaps to use those to see exactly where we entered and whatnot. And it doesn't really, and I can use those layouts by not actually getting in the way of any analysis. So I'd have two separate layouts, one to plot all of the positions and one to conduct all the analysis. So something like that, it is worth upgrading if you use it. What I found the main benefit going pro or premium is the alerts. Now, for some of you who aren't full-time traders who are trading at home or while you're at work, TradingView has a great function where you can set alerts on support and resistance levels, trend lines, prices, whatever, and these alerts will actually send these through to your email, through to your mobile phone as a text message to let you know when the price is approaching or on the trend line or support or resistance, which could be a great indication of to log on to your MT4 to place a trade or whatnot. Here you can see exactly what you get with the alerts with the basic. Nothing at all. With Pro, a lot more, and with obviously Premium, the whole shebang. So the second-based alerts, if you click on this, you can see you get real-time alerts for second-based charts. So that's quite a decent function to have as well, but it's only available with Premium, which is quite expensive, especially for novice or new traders. As on top of if you're already paying for a subscription to a service such as Trading Places or anyone else who is out there. So to be honest, if you are paying for a subscription for signals or whatever, and you're not really confident in placing trades or identifying trades yourself, you wouldn't really need the alert function, because your signal provider or your mentor, whoever it may be, should be giving you those alerts via the chat functions, whether it's a WhatsApp group account or Telegram group account, or a full app such as us. So moving on from the alerts, this is the screener, so pretty self-explanatory really. You can see anything but the basic includes all of this data. And you can just scroll through, and you can make your own decision really by weighing up what functions you may be needing and what you won't be, and then you can make a decision if you want the basic, the Pro Plus, or the Premium. So it's pretty transparent. It's completely, you can see exactly what you get for each price plan, which is really quite clear. Someone like me, I would have the Premium because I would need, multiple chart functions. I would need the fastest feeds. I'd need, the maximum amount of alerts. So the Premium works best for me. So that's what I would choose. So when I click Premium, I would have a monthly plan. It is, you do save a small amount by buying a 1 year. However, I prefer the monthly plan works better for me. You can pay between debit card or PayPal, and I'm going to select PayPal. So this will then redirect me. I will place my payment information, and I'll come back in 2 seconds. Once your payment has gone through, you can see this. Well, it's just gone off now. The confirmation is all gone through perfectly. Once that confirmation comes, you'll get redirected just to your home kind of dashboard page here, and this will then show you your payment method, the monthly plan, and then you can obviously get your invoices here if that's what required. Right, so moving forward now we've covered how to set the profile up, how to go to whatever paid for subscription you would like. You're thinking, right, how do I actually get into the charts? So first off, you just type in whatever currency you want. So pound, dollar, cable. This will bring up all the different brokers. You can see what TradingView you have in order to get the prices for pound, dollar. Now looking through, you can see you've got FXCM, Oanda, Forex.com, ICE, Saxo Bank, currency, whatever it might be. Now I use Oanda for my kind of analysis, for my pricing, for everything on TradingView. The reason being, I had an account with Amanda before last year before I moved, and out of the selection you have, I think Amanda's possibly the best and the best priced. They've got a transparent liquidity provider front, so the prices you see there, are very good. So that's the reason I use Amanda. But you can use any of these brokers you want. And if you do flick through, you'll be able to see that there's quite a difference in pricing sometimes, especially when the market's volatile. On each one of these, you can see where the price does bounce around slightly. So just for the time being now, I'm going to click on Amanda, and it will bring up this screen here. And you can see the difference pricings between all the brokers here. So you can see these are all the brokers that TradingView use to give prices and chart history. And you can see the difference is quite a bit, across the board. So like I say, you can choose whatever one you want to use, but we're going to stick with Amanda just for this. You can scroll down. You can see other people's ideas who have posted about pound dollar, how they think the market's going to move in the upcoming future. You have recent authors or top authors. These are the people who are publishing ideas regularly and have got a following on TradingView, and you can just see all these going down from here. Here on this section is the technicals. You can see, according to the profiles, what most people have. If it's a buy, strong buy, neutral sell, or strong sell, you can see where people are going. This gives you the information about the currency pair. Going down here, related symbols. And we also have a news function down here where you can see the latest news, which would potentially influence the price on the cable, the pound dollar. So this is this screen here kind of explained. Now to get to the actual chart where you conduct your analysis, you would click Full Feature Chart. This will open in a separate tab, so you can move this around to whatever screen you want. You can blow it up, make it smaller or whatnot. So this is kind of a standard screen you will see. First off, I always get rid of this trade function, so you would right click and click Hide Buy Sell Panel. The second thing what you would need to do, which is default, is the chart. Here you can see the chart is in a line graph. To change that, up here we would select this button here, the area, and then I would go down and I would always use candlesticks. So then now you can see that's been changed to a candlestick chart. Also, what I find does get in the way and doesn't really provide much information, especially is this volume. The reason I don't think it provides much the reason I don't think it's very good is because it will only take the volume from this broker. It doesn't give you a full market-wide volume. So to do that, you would right-click, you would click Object Tree, and then you can hover over the volume and take it away. So now you can see we've got a full, we've got a completely clean chart. There's nothing on there apart from the actual natural price action, the candlesticks over a daily time frame. So now we can actually start to explain how it all works. Right. So first off, you're thinking, what do all these buttons do? How do I do analysis or whatnot? This is the crosshair. You can change to a dot or an arrow or an eraser. So this is where you can hover the mouse and you can see the crosshair. If we were to select this button to a dot, you would see it as a dot. To move the chart, it doesn't matter if you've got a crosshair, a dot, an arrow, or whatever. You just left click and drag and it will move the chart in any direction. So you can quickly and easily move around the chart. Underneath the crosshair, the default will be set on a trend line. If you click the arrow to the right of this button, you can see trend line, info line, trend angle, horizontal line, ray. The whole kind of shebang. Everything you need to draw analysis is kind of here. So in order to draw support and resistance, you can use horizontal line. To be able to use that, you just click on the horizontal line, and then you will place this on the chart, and then you can move that around by just clicking and dragging. This feature comes up automatically. This you can change the color. You can make the thickness of the line, whether it's a dot, a full line, a broken line. These are the settings of the coordinates, the style, the visibility. So you can if you know exactly what price you want the line to be on, you can type it in here instead of dragging it. Some people find it more accurate. The style you can change. You can change the color, the thickness. You can write text, whatever it may be. Next to that, this is the alert function, which I was speaking about on the price plans. For instance, if a market, if you're looking at just this price, for instance, and that was here, and you want to be notified when the price hits that level of resistance, you would click on the alerts, and you can add this. You can type a message in here, for instance, sell when alert goes off, so just remind you what you wanted to do, and you click create. And if you're on the top plan, you would get an email, an SMS, and obviously, and also as a pop-up on the app if you've got the TradingView downloaded on your smartphone. The other buttons, this brings to front, brings to back. So if you've got a lot of analysis on and you want to change this, you can bring it to the front, so you can just move this. This is the copy and paste function, so you can clone and copy. You can lock it, so now you can't move it. And that's to get rid of, and then the eye is to get rid of the button and the actual to view the actual trend line. Sorry. In order to bring it back, you'd right click object tree, it comes up here, and then you would unclick the eye and it comes off. So this is quite simple on how it works. Bearing in mind, this video isn't about how to draw technical analysis, this is just showing how the TradingView platform works. To draw a trend line, you select trend line, and you can click and draw the trend line. So one click to drop the anchor where the trend line is, then you can drag it just using your mouse wherever you want to be. Now, for instance, you might think, oh, that's not very accurate. You want to make it exactly smack on the lowest point to get the tightest trend line. In order to do that, you would select the magnet tool here. Click on the magnet tool. You would select a strong magnet. Click back on the trend line. Now, when you hover over this, the candle you want to draw a trend line from, you can see it will just link to the bottom of that of the lowest wick or the lowest point. Then the strong magnet, then you can click wherever it is, and it will automatically link to the tightest point. It's the best way to draw the most accurate trend lines or Fibonacci's or anything which requires levels of detail in order to put on. Or I always use the magnet. You can choose weak or strong. The strong magnet it makes it quite hard to move it. The weak magnet just like links to the bottom of the candles, and then it's a bit easier to use. So I would tend to use a weak magnet just to get the anchor of the trend line on, and then it's easier to move it around. This is quite all self-explanatory, really. The rest of them, there's quite a good help function on the TradingView itself. But the most things you'll be using off of this kind of tool will be your trend lines, your horizontal lines, and your horizontal rays. Horizontal ray, this will just start the trend line from wherever you click. So it's a horizontal line will go all the way back from the start of the chart. So you can see that goes all the way back to when the chart was started. With the horizontal ray, it just starts from where you click. So this is quite good on a lower time frame, just to identify smaller like support and resistance levels. To delete the lines, you just click on them and just hit delete on your keypad. Moving down to the next function, which is underneath the button we just previously we're using, which is the gain and fib tools. So to click it out, it kind of expands all of this. Now, to be totally honest, out of all of these functions, I would only use the fib retracement. That's the only thing I would use. I mean, feel free to look through and go onto the help function if you don't know what any of the others do. But for the purpose of this video, there's no point me explaining every single one because you just won't use them. I use a fib retracement tool. So to identify that, you just click on the fib retracement, and then this will come up here, and you've got it. Go back to the magnet. Now, for a Fibonacci retracement, how you would use it in an uptrend, you go from the left to the right, the low to the high. In a downtrend, you go from the high to the low. So it's always left to right, and it's either low to high or high to low, left to right. So, for instance, to draw a Fibonacci retracement, let's just use this for a function. Let's just use this high. So we will hover around it. It will automatically click to the high wick. We click once. We then draw down to the low. Here we can see the market has then retraced up to around the 61 fib, and what's happened is sold off. Now, we're not going to get into trading strategies or how everything uses. but rule of thumb, I use a 61 fib, and we've just pulled this one out, and it has hit 61 fib, and it's sold off. These Fibonacci's, you can see it goes on and on and on and on and on here. I wouldn't use any of these colors or anything like that, and you need to customize the fib, otherwise it can be very confusing, especially when you've got multiple fibs on. So in order to customize it, double click, and this will bring up all of the different zones you use. So to start off with, I take off, we don't use those two. So the only zones I would use is 0, 0.5, 0.618, 0.786, and 1. So now you can see all of these extra functions have disappeared, but it still looks it's too big for me. I mean, you can customize it to however you want, but just in my experience, I find being just as simple as possible is the best. I don't like having a background. I like it to be totally transparent, so you can take that off. Here you can see the prices, the levels of values, etc., etc. Here, this is where you would change. So I would like to have the different levels and different colors to just make it easier to identify. So you would change that as such. You can have 61 blue, 50. I'd have 50 red, 61 green, and a 50 as like an amber color. That's basically like a traffic light system. 50 fib, I'll be getting ready to be looking at trades. 61.8 fib is where I'd like to enter, and 78.6 is kind of last chance saloon. So when you take that off, it should look something like this. So then you can see very clearly the high, the low, the retracement should be entering on the green. Red would be, you'd be looking with stops. Amber, you'll be getting ready looking for potential entries around this zone. And that's how the fib would work. And then again, to delete it, click, press delete. Still on this hatch, like I said, there is many different tools you can use. TradingView has hundreds of different tools, all of which are good. But I would just use the fib retracement. Underneath the fib, what we use, we have this is more kind of the drawing tools. The rectangle can be very good. The reason the rectangle can be very good, it can be great in identifying levels of support and resistance. So you could take the magnet off, and we can draw a level there, and we could just say, so to draw there, we would click on the rectangle, find our point of entry with a crosshair, click, drag, and when we finished, click again, and it just sticks. And that's how we'd use a rectangle. Again, double click, you can change the borders, you can change the color, you can change the coordinates, etc. So everything is customizable once you double click. I mean, there are lots of other tools to use. These are clips. This is quite good. You would click once, click twice, and then stretch out to make the circle. I like using the ellipse tools or the rectangle tools when I'm identifying head and shoulders patterns. And again, with the ellipse, you just double click on it to customize it. Underneath these kind of tools is the text function. This is where you can use these functions to annotate any charts, to make notes on high was, you could write, for instance, this high was established, lower low here, entered here. You can use your text function, you can use call out buttons, balloons, price labels, whatever you may be. And again, all you would do is click, drag, and type. It's very, very simple. It's very user-friendly TradingView, so it's great. This underneath this, we have all the different pattern kind of tools. I mean, I'm not a major fan, as I'm sure many of you are aware, of any of these ABCs or what have you. I do like the head and shoulders pattern. So how the head and shoulder works. So you would have the left shoulder. Here you double click down to the neckline. Click up to the head, down to the neckline, up to the right shoulder, identify the extension. And that's how you draw the head and shoulder tool using the head and shoulder. That's how you draw head and shoulders using the head and shoulder tool here. Quite easy. Double click down, single click down, single click down. And again, to delete that, click and delete. Underneath these kind of tools here, this is one of the most important tools you will use. This is for prediction. This is where you would identify your entries, your long positions, short positions, etc. Now all of this kind of stuff I never use. Long position is if you're looking for a buy order, you would click on long position, you would click to where your entry was, and here you would drag it up to identify the TP and drag up the stop or increase the stop where your stop loss would be. You can make it wider, but give the trade more time by dragging it to the left or the right. You can double click on this, you can click inputs, and you can change the entry to whatever, the stop loss to the profit level to whatever price, the stop loss to whatever price. And if you hover over, you can see the risk to reward ratio will tell you exactly the risk to reward of that potential trade. This is a long position. In order to do a short position, you would again click here and click short position. Click here. This time the stop loss is on the top because you're going short. Again, you can same functionality. You drag to make it longer or extend the stop loss or whatnot. And you would drag the TP to make a longer or bigger TP. Again, double clicking exactly the same in order to make it more, to enter the actual price levels which you're looking to short. And that's how it would look on the chart. Short position, long position. Again, click to delete. Underneath this is like a symbols tab. I mean, people use this to do anything. You can just click whatever symbol and then click anywhere on the graph and it will come up. I mean, I don't really use that. Underneath here we have a ruler. Now this is a very good tool. This measures the pips and distance. So you can click and drag and it will tell you exactly. It was 820 pips over 35 bars, which was 49 days. And that's quite a good function to have. You can quickly work out pips. Magnifying glass zooms in and out, but I would just prefer to scroll using the middle button and the mouse. So to scroll out, you pull the middle roller down. To scroll in, you'd use the stroller up. We've covered a magnet tool, weak magnet, strong magnet. Underneath here we have a drawing mode, which I never really use. This locks all drawings, and this hides all drawings. And obviously if you want to remove everything, you can click there to remove everything. Now this covers all of the kind of analysis tools for here. Now on the top bar, this is where we can have our currency. We've got pound dollar. If you click there, you can type in whatever currency you want and it will go to that chart. Next to this D is the default. This means each candlestick represents 1 day, one day's of price movement. If you click on the D, you can change it to absolutely anything you want. Hourly, 4 hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, 1 minute, 45 minutes, whatever you want. And you can also customize it by down here having different time ranges. Here, this is where you would change to have a bar chart, candlestick chart, hollow candles, whatever you want to have is all on here. So this is how the graph is displayed. Next to this, we have the compare function, and here you can overlay different symbols. So you can have pound dollar overlaid with, dollar yen. Next to this, indicators. Now I get quite a few messages about indicators, and I know people like to use indicators. In order to do that, click on the indicators tab, type in here. Some people want to use Bollinger Bands, so you can type in Bollinger Bands, click on the Bollinger Bands, and Bollinger Bands will then be applied to the chart. It's very simple, and you can have as many indicators as you want on each chart, depending on what levels of price plan you have. As you know, I'm not a massive fan of indicators, so to take that off, right click, object tree, Bollinger Bands, off you go. The next is the financials, which is something other. This is more for stocks than anything else. Templates. There's an indicator template here. You can just click to see. These are templates that have automatically been inbuilt, which some people can use. I don't use any of those. I prefer to make my own templates. But you can see there's all different kinds of templates you can use. Some people like to experience, just to experiment using them. And by all means, please have a look through and just see if anything takes your fancy. But they're all going off. The next will be the alerts. This is where if you had an alert, you can manage it, or you can create your alert on this form here, on this tab here. You can select whatever you want to do. So you can notify the app, you pop pop up, send an email, go to a website. You can even put your phone number in, and they send you an email and an SMS. The replay function, this takes off bar replay is really useful tool for back testing your strategies to see how it would have played out. It will take the bars off. You can identify a potential setup, and then you can play it out to see how it actually would have transpired had you placed for trades. It's a very good tool. And this is just an undo and a redo button if you want to undo anything you've done, or you can also use Control Z. Right, so that kind of sums up quickly how these all use. It's very simple, and all the tools down here. Again, it's very user friendly. It's a very user friendly base, and platform. So, to be honest, you shouldn't have too much trouble. Over in this section, this is how you would save a different layout. So you can save the layout. So if you've got multiple layouts, you can new chart layout. You can type in whatever you want to be called. This will bring up a new chart layout. So if in this chart you have conducted all your analysis, but you want a different layout in order to place your positions, so it doesn't get in the way of where your analysis are, you would select that new chart layout, and it would open a different tab, and you could resave it under a different name. So again, depending on how many price plans you have, it depends on how many chart layouts you're allowed to use. This is just for chart settings. You can change everything. You can make everything bespoke, and however all your setups are exactly how you like. It's quite easy. Just click through and have a play around. You can't do anything wrong. Just remember that. This blows it out to a full screen. This takes the screenshots and snapshots of the charts, what you've done. And to publish the idea, you can share this with the trading community. So if you've got a really good idea you want to publish, that will go onto the TradingView's published ideas, and it will also go onto your profile where you can click on it and click play, and you can see how the actual trade played out. That covers exactly how to use TradingView, how to draw charts, how to draw the analysis, how to use the functions, how the different time frames, etc. work, how to save the charts and save the layouts. The only thing we haven't kind of covered now is this section here. The right hand section. So watch list. Firstly, everyone wants a watch list. So we trade with G20 currency pairs. So in order to make your watch list, it will always comes with this default watch list. So I get rid of all of those just by hovering over them. The X will appear and you can just get them off. Now, in order to make a watch list, you click add the symbol. So for instance, we're going to start off with a commodity. You type in XAU USD. It comes up and you can find OANDA, which we're going to use. You click on it and it's on there. Next, the Aussie dollar, US dollar, OANDA, it's on there. Then Aussie dollar, JPY, OANDA, and it goes onto your list. Now, I like to keep all the currency pairs the same, so I keep all the Aussie dollar pairs, then I'll go on to Euro pairs, then Pound pairs, then Dollar pairs, and then any of the kind of incidental pairs at the bottom. It's just easier to keep them in order. And then once you've got a watch list, you can just easily click on each pair, and it will automatically take you to that full feature chart. Underneath your watch list, you have this alarm clock. This is where all the alerts will be. These are all your alerts, and when the alert goes off, it actually logs it in this box down here for you. Underneath this is the data window. So this tells you what's happened over the day, the highs, the lows of the market, and the percentage change. Underneath here, we have the hot list. Now this is what's been moving. This is the biggest movers and whatnot on the day, and biggest losers. I don't really use this, but it's quite an interesting tool. Underneath here we have the calendar. Now this is the economic calendar. It is pretty good. People use this, or they have third-party calendars to use. Underneath here we have the ideas. These are your ideas which you can create or match your criteria. Now this is the more community. So here we have, this is just for Forex chat. So anyone can say anything and people will answer any questions. There's different kind of feeds depending on what. If you're on cryptos, you click on a crypto feed. Forex is here, stocks and indices, etc. And you can communicate with the community. You can ask questions if you're not sure about anything, and it's normally pretty good. People will come back and reply to you. Underneath this one, it has the two bars, and this is a private messages. So this is if you're just talking to individual traders. Under the private messages is the ideas stream. This is where you're following different people, and they may publish an idea. It will be displayed in here. Moving forward, we have the notifications. We don't have any notifications. This is if you're connecting to a broker and using TradingView to place your trades. I don't do that. As we mentioned at the beginning of the video, I like to keep all the analysis separate to the market execution, so we don't just dive in and do anything rash. And underneath this is the actual how you would buy or sell, the different tick prices, what are available. Unfortunately, it doesn't show you depth or weight of market unless you're connected to a broker, and even so, you're only going to see the weight of market for Orlando itself. So that covers the whole of the chart view. So now we've covered setting up the account and creating the account, your profile, making it more bespoke to your own needs, how to open the charts, how all the tools will work, how all of the data works on the top, the indicators, the time frames, and the charts display, how the functionality will write with communications and how to get into the community and communicate and alerts, and how to create a watch list. So I think we've kind of really covered the full aspect of the TradingView platform here. Again, if we do have any questions or any further questions or inquiries, please just feel free to give me a shout on Instagram or on a WhatsApp messenger. That's great, guys, and I hope you've enjoyed our first TradingView educational lesson on how to use TradingView.